Hey there, fam. Welcome. Hello. It's another Babble session, and I'm doing another one for the Fear series simply because there's something I couldn't stop thinking about throughout the editing of the last video. Something that I said along the lines of, when we're asleep in our own beds, that's the best chance to not bother anyone else, right? You're asleep, your dreams are in control. But I kept thinking of like my cousin and folks like that who her ex-husband used to act out his dreams. So he would wind up hitting her and such, right? But like she was able to switch spots with him. Certain things like that can be, you have options. And it doesn't quite terrify me, right? But the opposite of that does terrify me. And that's sleep paralysis. And I do not personally deal with sleep paralysis. I'm so scared of it happening, really. My heart goes out to you if this has ever been a part of your life. May we all be able to be safe while we sleep and as we wake, right? So let's see what folks have been saying over the years on Reddit about this, shall we? Have you ever experienced sleep paralysis? Has anyone else noticed that their sleep paralysis happens less or not at all when they sleep on their sides? Every single time I have had it happen, I was sleeping on my back, and I don't sleep on my back often. Sleep paralysis can be accompanied by hallucinations. Mine are very vivid. First time it happened to me, I saw Jawa from Star Wars at the end of my bed, and then one of the aliens from The Signs crouching over me, trying to strangle me. I swear if I ever see that crazy from The Ring, I will die of a heart attack. Please no. No. Sleep paralysis used to be a constant nightmare to me for years. While most people only experience it a few times in their lives, I would experience it at least once a week. Because sleep paralysis can be triggered by a huge stress, there would be some months where I would get it 3 to 4 times a week, and a few times in a row during the nights it would occur. When it first started happening to me, I was afraid to go to sleep. When it happens, I feel an evil presence, like someone sitting on my chest and trying to choke me. I feel as if my eyes are open. I can see my room, but I cannot move. The choking causes me to be unable to breathe. If I struggle, I panic, and eventually wake up when I feel suffocated. The hallucinations are very intense. It usually begins with a horrible nightmare that comes from nowhere, and ends with the hallucination of being choked by this evil presence in your room. You feel like you're screaming at the top of your lungs, but in reality, no words are coming out, and you aren't even awake even though you see the room around you. This is the most terrifying part about it. Strangely, certain cultures report seeing certain evil presences specifically. I believe Asians, for example, more often see it as a ghost, while Caucasians report a witch or an old hag. I have not had it in a while now. It occurs only every so often, only once every couple of months, and I am well prepared for it now. When it happens, I know what it is and remain calm. If you can figure out that it is only a dream, then you can sometimes transfer the dream paralysis into a lucid dream. Essentially, you go from a terrifying experience to one of ecstasy. Oh, whoa, words. Okay, alrighty then. This is always the best way for it to turn out. Did he just say happy ending? Did I just assume? Like I said, huge stress is a big cause for me personally. Caffeine, exercise, television, computers, staying up late. Stop calling us out, my guy. Alright? Just calm down. All of these can contribute, okay? Basically, anything that messes with your normal brain and sleep functions. These are fighting words. Sleep paralysis has also been linked to narcolepsy and cataplexy. This messed up wiring in the brain, especially with narcoleptics, almost certainly in my mind contributes to it, at least for them. For example, they enter REM sleep and muscle paralysis very quickly. However, because the dreams/nightmares begin so quickly, this may cause the person to wake up only to find that their muscles are temporarily paralyzed. This is how it often happens with me. Having read that, I am now afraid to go to sleep. I don't know if what I had was sleep paralysis. I was laying on my side and I was half asleep. I motioned from laying on my left side to my right, and as soon as I was flat on my back, I couldn't move. I tried to turn my neck and nothing. I could breathe fine, but it was scaring the shit out of me. Random shit was racing through my head. Was I having a stroke in my 20s? Was I about to die? I relaxed for 20 seconds and tried again, and I was able to complete my turn to my right side. After that, I got out of bed and decided to go for a walk. That was the only time this happened. Dude, that is exactly what happened to me once when I was sick. I tried turning, but couldn't move, and random thoughts were racing around in my head. And for some reason, I thought there were a lot of spirits in the room with me, and they were all moving around. But once I calmed down, they all calmed down too. And then they all started staring at me. And that's when my paralysis hit. After 30 seconds, I got up and I went for a walk too and felt a little better. It's a pretty fucking scary feeling. I believe so too. I've had sleep paralysis all of my life and just found out what it was a couple of years ago. I usually get it a few times a year. When I was a kid, I would realize I couldn't move, and one of two things would happen. I would either convince myself that I didn't really want to move anyway, or I would be convinced I was paralyzed by extraterrestrials and they were probing me. A memory I suppressed for years was when I opened my eyes during one episode and saw an alien-like gray boy with a stripy top standing at my half-open door, just looking at me. Now I know what it is, but the hallucinations are much worse. I would usually scream for help or run around, all in my head. Last time I kept touching my mouth to see if it was moving while I screamed, to see if it was a dream or not, but of course, I wasn't neither screaming nor touching my mouth for real, so it didn't really matter. Oh, and then there was that time that I saw a creepy Sadako-like girl appearing from behind my wife, crawling towards me. Oh, and then there was that time that I saw a creepy Sadako-like girl. I would shit my pants so hard I'd blow a hole through the bed. Except you just think you were. I had it happen to me once. I had been reading the Deathgate cycle, and the assassin character, who wasn't really a particularly evil character, was standing at the foot of my bed. I was convinced he was going to kill me if I moved. I have a friend who regularly wakes up but is paralyzed. I hope your friend regularly wakes up. And, it's unfortunate that sometimes they happen to be paralyzed when they wake up, but it's good that they regularly wake up, bruh. He can see and hear what is going on around him, but can't move. Not sure if that is the same thing. Yeah. I did that once, years ago. I woke up laying on my back, but couldn't move. I think I must have been asleep, or drifted off again or something. I went through several cycles of being awake, or thinking I was, but unable to move or talk. A few minutes later, I'd wake up again, still unable to move, and it repeated until finally I managed to move and actually get up. I still don't know if I was waking up and falling back to sleep or dreaming the whole thing until I finally woke myself up from the dream. I'm not sure my eyes ever opened. I thought they did. I saw my room, but every time I woke up again, they were closed. And I remember hearing my husband and daughter talking in another room. Not nearly as scary as nightmares, but really disturbing to be paralyzed. Yeah, I get it once a month or so, usually in the morning before I wake up. I feel like my body is weighed down by something. I can move, but only a little bit at a time. What works for me is rocking my body back and forth until I eventually come out of it. I've informed my girlfriend about it, and she knows that if she sees me rocking that I want her to wake me up. I have the exact same procedure. I have an episode about once a month or two, and it's freaking annoying if nothing else. Mainly because of this quote-unquote screaming, although only some odd loud mumbling comes all the way out. Last time it happened when I was visiting back home, my sister thought it was some wounded animal outside. I went through periods where it would happen on a daily basis. Even a relatively light nap would end in sleep paralysis. My hallucinations were never of fictional characters, but rather friends or family that were around. So I had a hard time even after breaking out, figuring out what was real and what wasn't. While it's never a pleasant experience, if it happens enough, you kind of develop a mental fortitude and learn to stay calm throughout until you finally break out. Anyone experience it the same way, like you're suddenly freed? Right there with you. I just drop into these kinds of episodes sometimes. Are you able to hold your calm in hectic situations because of this? I find that when something happens in everyday life that has other people confused and perhaps frightened, I am able to remain calm and somewhat sensible. I dropped in to see if anyone else experienced the feeling of suffocation. That's the worst for me. Lying there helpless, apparently unable to draw a breath for what seems like minutes. Alright, how about you? Have you ever had to deal with this? This just, the stories that I hear from like friends, relatives, and the like, just, they terrify me. Just seriously, I can't, like, why? Why do our bodies have to turn against us at times? Like, what the hell? There's certainly other terrifying things the human body is capable of. Some we're just not going to discuss because I'm pretty sure we're all tired of dealing with things. May you be able to sleep well this night. I don't know about you, I'm an insomniac, so here's to hoping, right? Until next time, and beyond, please take care.